Since time immemorial, you and your people have toiled in the shadow of the Cyclopean ruins. Of mysterious origins and the source of many a superstition, they have always been considered a secret best left unknown by the folk of your hamlet. But now something stirs beneath the crumbling blocks. Beastmen howl in the night, and your fellow villagers are snatched from their beds. With no heroes to defend you, who will rise to stand against the encircling darkness? The secrets of chaos are yours to unearth, but at what cost to sanity and soul? Hello, this is your RPG Archivist with a read-only review of Sailors of the Starless Sea, an adventure for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Not just any adventure, this is the first ever adventure for the Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game. So don't let the 67 on the cover fool you. They started these Dungeon Crawl Classics in the 3rd edition era. This is Goodman Games, by the way, if I didn't mention it. I didn't mention it. But anyway, so it's not until number 67 that they finally switch over to the Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game. So, yeah, there's a number of Dungeon Crawl Classics adventures before number 76, but those are mostly for 3rd edition, and I think even a few 4th edition adventures there. But thank goodness Goodman Games decided to make their own system, and that is Dungeon Crawl Classics, and I've got a video on it somewhere. Just check out the channel, and maybe I'll put a link, I don't know, maybe. Before I continue with this, I have decided to go on a quest. A quest for the elusive monetization. Yes, I know. But the ideal of maybe a little bit of pocket change appeals to me. I mean, I'm doing it anyway, right? So you guys could expect to see longer videos, about 10 minutes long, which means you'll hear me talk more. That might be a bad thing. Unsubscribe, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I do in fact prefer shorter videos. I like to keep them below 10 minutes, and I know I have a number of videos that went as high as 20 or more minutes, and that was usually by accident. This time, however, I will be doing it on purpose. Just a heads up on that. So, let us continue. Yeah, this is the first funnel made for Dungeon Crawl Classics. If you're not familiar, if you didn't see my video on funnels, in Dungeon Crawl Classics, your group starts with a number of 0 level characters, usually about 3, maybe more. And you would go through what is called a funnel. This is a little bit longer funnel than usual from what I've been told, or from what I've read. But it's a good adventure. And not only is it a good adventure, but I think it's good enough to hold up to level 1 play. Yeah, I think some level 1 players could play this adventure handily. It's a good adventure. It's also really deadly, especially towards the end. But hey, it's fun. I read it, I'm like, I want to run this. I definitely want to run this. It might even end up becoming my favorite funnel after Portal Under the Stars, which I've already ran a number of times. In fact, it's the only thing I've ran as of yet in Dungeon Crawl Classics is Portal Under the Stars. I just love that adventure, but I need to move on. I need to move on and actually get past level 0. Anyway, let's flip through this sucker. I want to show you this. Come on. Oh yeah. That's actually not what I was going to show you, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. These are the handouts. These are actually pretty useful to have for your players. So yeah, by all means, photocopy this. Don't cut it out. Don't put... Scissors should not go near this lovely tome. So just do yourself a favor and photocopy them. I'm sure Goodman Games won't mind. Of course, we got the Goodman Games art style, which I enjoy immensely. Here is the thing I wanted to show you. This is here we go. Look at that. Isn't that great? Dungeon Crawl Classics never fails to amaze me with their maps. I love this map. I love all their maps. They're useful and artistic. And there's the lower levels. They do take a little getting used to, because I guarantee you this bit is not to scale. It's just not. But Dungeon Crawl Classics is not about putting everything to scale. You might want to run it with miniatures, maybe not. But yeah, this isn't a game that futzes with that sort of thing. Let's just flip through it real quick. So I read the back, and the back is pretty much it. I'm not going to give... I don't think I'm going to give spoilers this time. I don't think it's necessary to give spoilers. I'll tell you, it's a good dungeon crawl. 0 level players. Great art. The only spoilers I think you're going to get out of this review is just me showing you the book itself. So if you don't want spoilers, do not pause and try to read the text. Well, you'll end up with some spoilers with looking at the pictures. Okay. Alright, I'm busted. There are some spoilers. Whoa, what's this? Oh wow, my receipt from when I bought this. I use these as bookmarks. I think that's from... Oh, no. That's from my mini trips to the coffee shop while I was reading this. Okay. Yeah, fantastic adventure. Oh, sorry about that. Very professional. If I was on radio, I'd probably get docked for that. A little snort. We're with the band. Oh, yeah. So, review done? No, it's not. Number one, I'm just in the middle of the 6-minute mark. So I gotta pad it. Gotta get that money. No, this is what I really want to do. This is the 5th printing of Sailors on the Starless Sea. Look at that hardback cover. Look at that face. Love it. Oh, shiny. Shiny. Unless you think this is just a mere reprinting. Oh, no. There is much more to this one. First of all, they put in pictures of beastmen that you might encounter. So if you're a dungeon master and you want to show your players what something looks like instead of having them use their imagination, there you go. Personally, I like the describing and letting them think, because they usually think of something scarier. Here's a color picture, a color version of that map that I was showing you earlier. I wish they had given the same treatment to the sea level map, but I've read this page to page and there is none. I would have thought that they would have put it in the back, but no! They put this back here instead, which is actually not a bad layout art piece. It's really good. I like it. Okay. Flipping back. Yeah, a little damage there. Yeah, I believe this book is glued into the spine rather than knitted, which I hear is not as good, but hey, I still like this book. I don't feel ripped off at all. It goes right into the adventure. Ruined Keep. Yeah, there are 2 levels. The Ruined Keep level and the Starless Sea level. And there is the black and white map again. There's one thing about the layout. I mean, if they had put the color map of this in the back, I would have been like, cool. That's awesome. But they didn't. This is going to be a problem. If you're going to run this game out of the book, this is going to be a problem. If you want to photocopy this, you're going to be bending your spine all up. But wait, there's more. More, you say? They have an additional bit called the Summoning Pits. And, it's a little offshoot. In the book, it's like right there, they'll add up another hallway. And it adds a whole nother adventuring section if you want to. I wouldn't do it for a 0 level funnel, but if I was running a group of level 1s through it, oh yeah, definitely. Another amazing, amazing map. I wanted to point out something on this map. Okay, spoilers. Yeah, again. So don't study the map too much if you're actually going to be a player. I want to check this out. Look, there's a concealed door here, right? And then right across there's this hallway. Well, I read the text several times. This is supposed to also be a concealed door. Ah, yes, the tradition of putting things in the wrong place, having map anomalies. DMs, read your stuff carefully. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, the Summoning Pits is a good addition. It fits and yet it fits and yet it feels like a different level altogether. It's good. It's deadly. It's fun. And then you get into the retrospective. Now this is something interesting. This is like about half the book is the retrospective stuff. But I think it's quite welcome. This is the sort of thing Goodman Games likes to do. Check this out. This is Into the Borderlands. One day I'll actually do a read-only review of this. Who knows? Look at that. So they're not just into the... they're into the history as well as the adventure. This gives you a good idea of what their thought processes were when making this adventure, what they were going for. Some alternates. And look, that map looks familiar. Yeah. Funny, I don't remember seeing that in my version over here. Must be a different printing. Like I said, this is the 5th printing, and Goodman Games has an interesting idea on printings. If something sells really well, they'll do another printing, and they'll do something different. Like they'll change the layout, or they'll change the cover. You know, they'll do things like that. Speaking of layout, remember that handout I showed you that was like right in the inside cover? They put the handout like in the middle. Yeah. Yeah, layout could have been a little better for the purposes of actually using it. It's not that big a deal, but just pointing it out. Just pointing it out. Look, the original map. Maybe I should give a shout out to the guy who wrote this. His name is all over the book. Here it is. Harley Stroh. Yeah. Did a good job. 2 pieces of graph paper to get the full map. Look, in the cover design process. I found out something interesting from this. Did you know that the People of the Pit cover was originally going to be for the sailors on the Starless Sea? I did not know that. They give you the whole story on how that happened. Interesting read. I almost didn't read this. I was like, surely it's not going to be that interesting. But I made myself read it. I read it. I was not disappointed. Now I'm very glad I read it. Good stuff. We have a number of tribute covers by a number of artists. I love how they could take the same basic concept and give a almost completely different interpretation. Is it padding? Maybe. Is it worth it? Yes. Here's one of the other alternate covers. I've seen this in my flags. Friendly local gaming store. I wish I had picked that up when I saw it. Especially this one. This one's just so cool. And of course, the cover I have. And here's a little thing talking about a reverse version of Sailors on the Starless Sea. Reverse version where you play the Beastmen. Interesting read as well. Concept art of the Leviathan that may or may not appear in the adventure. No spoilers. Or is it? I'm not going to say. And various pictures from over the years of people running the adventure. All right. Yeah, I have not run this, therefore, read-only review. Do I love it? Yes, I absolutely love it. Yeah, it takes, to be honest, it takes a lot for me to be disappointed in a product. It really does. I'm easy. I'll admit it. But this is like top tier for me. I really like this one. I really want to run it. So yeah, that was Sailors on the Starless Sea. And this has been your read-only review. And I think I've covered everything I want to cover. So, this has been your RPG Archivist. See ya.